I was going through this data right here, and something clicked for me, and I think it's gonna click for you. You see, I found a pattern that preceded 10 out of the last 11 recessions. And once you see what I see, you're gonna understand why things feel so freaking off. So, a few days ago, the markets are going up. People think the war is cooling off. They think there's some end in sight. Then overnight, oil spikes up, stocks drop, and now nobody knows what's coming next. And I'm sitting here thinking, how are people not connecting the dots? How are they not connecting that the 90% failure rate is right here? So depending on when you're watching this, some of the headlines probably have already changed. I mean, that's how fast things are moving right now. But here's the thing. The headlines might change, but the pattern doesn't change at all. And that's what I want to show you. I want to show you this pattern that I found. Let me ask you something. Does it feel like even though you're making more money, you're keeping less? Like every single month, it just feels tighter? The groceries cost more, gas is going up, every single thing costs more money. I was talking to somebody earlier this week. They were making over $200,000 a year. And here's what he said to me. He said, I don't feel rich. I feel behind. And I'm thinking, $200,000 a year, your bills aren't too bad and you're feeling behind? That shouldn't be happening, but it was. And I don't think that's consolidated to just him. I think that's everybody is feeling this weird pinch right now. So that's what got me digging. And here's what I found. So every major economic breakdown in the last 50 years started the exact same way. It started with oil. Let me prove it. 1973, that recession was oil. 1979, yep, that recession as well. 1990 and the 2008 financial crisis, 10 out of the 11 recessions were preceded by oil spikes. So no, this is not random. Now that's random. Smash that button right there, that subscribe button, and then there's another button, a bell. I need you to hit that bell so you're notified every time I put out new content. So here's what people miss. They miss the fact that oil isn't just gas at the pump. It's the foundation of every single thing that we need to live. Food, yeah, food needs fuel. Products that we use, they need energy. Shipping needs energy. So when oil goes up, everything becomes more expensive. I mean, right now, oil's up 40% from before this Iran conflict started. Gas has jumped $1 in just 1 month. That's not normal. That's pressure on the entire system. So let me show you something. When things get tight, people feel pinched, they freeze. They stop doing anything. They literally stop saving, they pull all their investments back, and that is exactly what you should not be doing. What you need to be doing is taking back control of your money. When everybody else is fearful, that's when you need to be aggressive. That's when you need to be greedy, says Warren Buffett. When others are fearful, you get greedy. But that's not what people do because of fear. This is an easy explanation. Let's just change this to oil. As oil goes up, so do costs. As costs go up, people can't spend money. When people can't spend money, businesses make less money. Then businesses start cutting people and cutting jobs and finding more efficient ways to trim the fat. And then we enter this cycle, okay? And eventually we enter a recession. Let me explain this simply. If families spend less money because things got so expensive, they just had less money to spend, then what happens is businesses have to cut back. There will be layoffs. When there's layoffs, people lose their jobs. When people lose their jobs or have the fear of losing jobs, we just continue around and around. This pattern, oil, okay, the simple thing of oil spiking in price, has preceded 10 of the last 11 recessionary periods. This is exactly what happens every time in lieu of oil spikes. So if they don't get a handle on oil prices, if there's not something done with the Iran war that opens that straight up, this is where we're going, folks. And we're probably going there way faster than most of you want. We literally go from disbelief to uncertainty to optimism to enthusiasm to euphoria to overconfidence. And guess where we're at right now? We're right there. And this is where we're going. People will become anxious. The unknown. which will result in denial as the markets keep to fall. Then panic, capitulation, agony, depression, right back into that. So as this all happens, what we need to do is we need to be in control of our money. We need to manage the fear and greed cycles. And we have that backwards. We really do. Because when this whole thing happens, we need to build a bridge. So if this is where we're at, we're just coming out of overconfidence mode. Everything was so good for so long. Now we're going into this unknown area, which I just said. The patterns show where we're gonna go if oil prices keep going up. You don't have to let your money ride the roller coaster ride. You can just create a bridge. And you know, the best way to do that is just to sit on the sidelines. Take money out of risk assets, put it into risk off assets, and then let those risk off assets just carry you. That's your bridge. But the other thing too is during those periods when your money isn't earning, this is the perfect place for the infinite banking concept, the perfect place for you to become your own bank. Because listen, if you're sitting on the sidelines with money, your money's idle, okay? It's losing to inflation, it's losing to everything else. We need that money working. So how do you make that money go to work without you having to take on any risk? Take back the banking functions in your life. Where are you using banks? Where are you leaking interest? Probably your debts, right? Look at your debts. You got car loans, you got credit card loans, you got lines of credit. What are we giving up every single year in interest to those banks? Well, what if we took the money that's sitting on the sidelines, and this could be from your 401k with a 401k loan, this could be your home equity line of credit, this could be using sources of money like your specially designed whole life. You take a loan and you pay your debts off. Then you take the amount you were paying to your debts and you put it right back to the source where it came. If your money that was in investments is now out of the investments. Now, this is showing it in a policy, right? In a specially designed and engineered whole life. But also, this could be your 401k. In a 401k, you can take 50% or 50,000, whichever is greater. That's just the rules if you can take a loan. So all I'm trying to show you is if we had our money sitting on the sideline, even if it was sitting in a specially designed whole life, which is where it should be, that money can come over here and be used to pay off your debts. When you pay off your debts, you take the money you were using for the debts, let's call it $1,000 a month, if that's what your debts were, and we put it back here. Now, let's go one step further. Let's say you took a loan from your 401k for $50,000 because you were nervous that your 401k was going to continue going down. That 401k loan for 50 grand could pay down whatever debts it could pay down. If it freed up 1,000, you take the 1,000 and you put it back toward the 401k loan to repay the loan. Both of these scenarios allow your money to make money without you having to take any risk. The 401k, how are you making money? Well, the 401k is going to charge you interest on the loan, okay? That interest that the 401k charges you, I don't know what it is, but I'm just going to pretend that it's 6%, that goes back to your account. So that would be like locking in 6% interest, okay? Because there's no risk. You're just repaying the loan to your 401k. And you're repaying the loan with money that you used to just give away. That money used to just be given away to the car loan company, the credit card company, whatever. Now, that money's coming back over here. So it's not just the interest that you're taking back, okay? It's the interest you were giving away. It's the combination of the two. Same thing with the policy. If you borrow from the policy, let's say the insurance company lets you borrow at 5%. You pay off the loans, okay, the debts. You take the money and you put it back in the policy. Now $1,000 a month is coming back to your policy, plus all the money that was in there. Well, let's just continue with the 50,000. This continued to earn interest and dividends. There are two different strategies. Some of you might have gotten confused because I used 401ks and specially designed whole life, but the concept of taking back control of your money in times like this is all I'm trying to do. This is where you're giving up control. Your debts, your expenses, all the places you're giving money to, that's you giving control. We're gonna take that control back. And that control is gonna allow you to build wealth through your own debts and expenses. And it doesn't matter if it's your 401k you use, doesn't matter if it's a specially designed whole life that you use, both of them do the same thing and allow you to be in control. All right, now stack all that on top of what's going on with AI. Companies are cutting costs, not because they're failing, but because they can. AI is giving them the hall pass, if you will, to hire less people, to let some people go. They're automating more, which definitely plays into the layoff thing. Companies are becoming more profitable, no question about that. But that's because people are becoming less necessary. This is a very dangerous combination in lieu of everything else we just talked about. Drop in the comments, are you seeing layoffs? Like right down there. Is your company laying people off? Like what business are you in? Are you seeing AI optimization? All right, well, all of this stuff is interconnected. And here's the part that should make you stop what you're doing and listen. The market is still acting like everything's fine. Watch the markets. You look around, jobs are tightening, okay? We already just talked about that. Costs everywhere are rising and have been, and spending is slowing. Saving rates are slowing. Debts are at all-time highs. So here's what the market is betting on. The market is betting on companies having the ability to make more money, be more profitable. And that's even if you have less money. Think about that. I mean, zoom out for a second and let's just kind of look at everything we're just unpacking. Oil is completely unstable. Every day it's shifting. And the systems are also shifting. Gold has been on a rise. So oil accounts for about 4.1 trillion. Gold is 485 billion. Even a small change here ripples everything. So here's the truth. This was never about if something breaks. This was always about when it breaks. And well, here we are. That's what you're feeling right now. It isn't a crash. It's the pressure building before the crash. That's why it feels so tight. This isn't fear, this is a pattern. You're just recognizing that the pattern is playing itself out. You can't control it, okay? You can't control oil, you can't control inflation, you can't control markets. But what you can control, like I said earlier, is how your money works, how it flows, and how exposed you are to the risks that are happening right now. So listen, I know some of you are thinking, well, how do I go about taking back control in my life? That's what we can help you with. Now, you got to jump on a call with one of us. So down below, there's a little QR code, or up in the top or somewhere on your screen, you can book a call with my team. They'll walk through your situation and they'll map out how to solve your problem. Hey, but before you guys go, check this video out right here. You see, if there's one thing that's going to crush you in a time like this, it's debt. So fix that first, and I'll see you on the next video.